special meeting of the Northfield Public School Board. Today is Thursday, February 27th, 2020, and the time is 5:00 p.m. Dr. Hillman, there were no items in the table file.
That is correct.
Okay, so is there a motion to approve the agenda as presented? Moved by Jeff. Is there a second? Second by Amy. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We now have opportunity for public comment. This is a chance for residents, business, property owners, parents, students, and employees of the Northfield Public School District to address the board. Is there anyone here who wishes to address the board? Okay. Seeing no one come forward, we will move on to our single agenda item, which is an item for individual action, which is the Greenville Park renovation bid approval. Do we want to...
I think you could bring Josh forward to provide information before them.
Yeah, Josh, why don't you give us Josh Cooper from Knutson Construction Management, also known as our unsung hero. Anyway, so why don't you give a brief overview, and then I will ask for a motion, and then board members would have an opportunity for questions or comments. Welcome, Josh.
Sure. Thank you, all the board members that made it tonight. I know it's twice here this week, but we weren't able to make the initial pass at getting the information in from our bids last week, but we're here tonight. I think you've got some information in front of you on the bids that we received. So we accepted bids last week on the 20th, 3:30, and it was about a $2 million job. So not the big ticket projects we've had here in the past that we presented in the past, but nonetheless, we did get 22 bids covering the various scopes. We're here for, I put 9 in here, but I think we're at 8 for award, what we're recommending. Indeed, right there on the attached sheet that you had. Numbers did come in over budget, overall budget. A little bit of surprise on the HVAC. It was a little higher than anticipated, along with the masonry and the electrical. However, I think we're in a good spot on where we are overall in the budget. So, we continue to work with Wold on any additional savings that we could have as we work through to get to this point for the next couple weeks or so. And if there's any savings we can have, obviously that'll go to our contingency overall. But with that, we are still carrying some contingency for this project, as well as some allowance items for furniture and technology, which we're fine tuning over here the next week or so. So that is kind of what I have to present. I can dive into questions on what we received, kind of the state of the bid world, if you like. I can go into try to explain that too.
Okay.
Can I make one comment?
Sure, and then I'll ask for a motion.
Yeah. And Val, if you'd help me with this a little bit. So, as you know, we have managed the budget of our overall bond projects very well so far. Stewardship is one of our core values. We have hit the mark on every one of these to this point. Every single one of the new construction projects came in under the construction projection. Part of that is the multiple estimate, the preliminary estimate simulation process that both Knutson and Wold do. As you know, renovation is different than new construction. And one of the pieces that we have managed very well is that the bond proceeds we have invested in a very sensible way, and we are anticipating over $1 million in interest. And to date, we have actually earned over $500,000 of interest. So while the bids were a little bit higher than what had been anticipated, we are still sitting very good with our district-wide contingency fund of over $340,000, and we were able to use some of that $500,000 of interest, which has always been designed to try to be put back into the project to help make sure that we can move forward. We just need to compliment Erin Bailey and her team. This is for only a $2.8 million total project. It is a complex project, and we need to do the things now that we're going to do, because once we get the licensed childcare center up and running in this renovated building, you can't shut the building down. It becomes very difficult to do. So we are just very fortunate to be in the position that we are in, and I want to remind people, we didn't even bond for the total authority that the voters gave us because of the great interest rate we initially got. So there's some really other, even though the bids came in a little bit higher than what we had anticipated, there's such great financial news because of the management of the interest, the management of the contingency fund, and that really goes to the work that Val has done with Knutson and Wold in this project. So I just want to share that as it came in a little bit higher. The fact is the financial management of the bond proceeds allows us to do what we have been planning to do.
Excellent, thank you for that. So because this is an item for individual action, is there a motion to allow contracts to be issued to the bidders presented for Greenville Park renovation at a cost of $2,259,291, as well as approval for the general conditions fee of $263,251, the construction contingency of $30,000, and the special inspections and testing for Chosen Valley for $5,467, and the commissioning agent for IEA for $9,500. Moved by Amy. Is there a second by Ellen? Questions, comments, discussion? Amy.
Hi Josh, thanks for coming. I'm sure it's nice to be the first thing on the agenda for once.
The only thing on the agenda.
My question is, could you just talk a little bit more about the HVAC costs and how they changed substantially and what's happening with that?
Yep, so we're actually converting, we're taking boilers out or putting new boilers in and converting from steam to hot water. So it's a little bit challenging project with the timeline, one, and the access into the tunnels that we need to do to take pipe out and put new pipe in. You know, when we estimated it, we get some good input from subs. Those subs workload fill up, so they were some of the guys that were helping us budget weren't able to bid on this one. But it is a pretty substantial mechanical upgrade that they're doing to that building. So Sean with Wold can maybe chime in and talk more to that, but it's a nice upgrade.
Yeah, I would just add that some of the early childhood requirements for toilet rooms and sinks and casework kind of pump up that plumbing number as well. So that was one thing that resulted through meeting with the users of the spaces and developing the overall plans.
Thank you.
Great question. Other questions or comments? I appreciate all the work that was done, and I think if anyone watches Home Garden Network, they know that renovation is much different than a new addition. And we're the homeowners. It's a little bit of sad news, but very good news all around. And we, of course, have to commend Val Murdesdorf and Jim for the work they did on the LTFM dollars, which we know is off, is helping with this. And I think that, we have promised the community, that we would give them the space, and that's what we want to continue to do. And I think there wasn't an opportunity to go back and find more dollars. This has been, I know Aaron has pored over those plans and has looked at every wall socket and every door and every casework. So it wasn't like we had that opportunity to say, oh, well, maybe we don't need all this icing on the cake. No, this is just really bread and butter. So I think that we knew that wasn't an option because we were already bare bones. And having to go back and do anything more, I think we were at risk of not delivering what we promised the community. So I think that the numbers are all there. We're in a great we're in a great place. The good news is this, again, was the $2 million project, not the $28 million project. So I think that, again, we commend Knutson and Wold, because if you think about how long it was ago that they made these estimates and the changing volatile market of the construction industry, I think you have to be commended for as well as you do, so.
Thank you.
I,
Did
Plan
anybody
to
else,
support.
I know this isn't probably the platform, does anybody else have any questions? Maybe Matt's been keeping everybody in the loop on other construction,
and no,
Greenvale,
are there
Sibley.
any questions? We do get our construction update
Good.
every board meeting, but it is with Josh here. If board members
Say
have a
my
question.
4 favorite words, Josh, please.
We're on time and under budget, yeah,
Thank you.
we got it. Yeah,
Well,
and
I
to
think-
be honest with you,
yeah.
I mean, things are tracking great. We had a good size pour yesterday, slab on grade, so we really only have, we're gonna shoot for only 2 more for the east end of the Greenvale Elementary New School, and then we're gonna jump up and start pouring the topping slabs. So fully enclosed by, I would say, mid next week. You'll see the bricks starting to come around the building. If you walk inside the building, there are studs standing, pumps are set, boilers are set, there's ductwork and sprinkler piping going up. I think we kind of talked, as we get that full slab on grade poured, we'd be welcome to give you all a tour, because it's going to be a nice project. Sibley too is clipping away too. He's pushed. Barry's our superintendent out there. He's shooting a pour, starting those slabs a week from Monday is the target right now. This renovation, Jim Colseth has graciously let us get in there as early as we can to start the work. But as June 1 hits, it will be hot and heavy for the entire summer.
And I think that's an important part for board members to know, is that there are some things that we will start before the end of the school year. So for example, there is a time frame every year where we shut down the boilers, and once those boilers are shut down, they will start to work on removing those boilers and getting the other ones. So there are going to be parts we will segregate it from the students, in terms of, but there are some things in order to hit the time frame for, because this is clearly, out of all the projects, the most complicated project to get done within the time frame that we have. And so there will be some things that will happen in the existing building yet this school year.
Excellent. Any other questions?
I just
have a
Oh, I'm sorry, yes.
I want to take you up on that hard hat tour
Yeah,
sometime.
absolutely. I
So
think
when,
that's
let Matt know when you're ready, and maybe we can make that happen.
Yeah,
March.
no, we talked at our last project oversight meeting, we thought maybe sometime in April, but it really depends, there's a lot of mud and actually ice out there on the site, so obviously want it to be safe. So we will definitely have the opportunity to.
Yeah, we'll make sure you get to see it, no
Yes.
worries.
Okay,
It's exciting.
excellent. So with the words of on time and
Under budget.
and under budget, we have a motion.
July 25th.
And a second. All those in favor say aye. Oh, aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, that concludes the business for tonight's special board meeting. Is there a motion to adjourn? Moved by Noel. Is there a second? Second by Amy. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? We are adjourned.